It appears that this affair has been ongoing for about a year and with both partners unaware.
This is the question I want! This is what I'm here for!
On this episode of Get It Out, we are obviously
News anchors.
I thought we were attending a wedding.
Yeah, then you're the waiter at the wedding.
Yeah, the banquet. This episode, we are doing an office episode. Okay, so we ask you guys to send us stories about your office politics. So
We asked for it and you're delivered.
yes. And
Finally, like, we can gossip. Finally, we can laugh at people without all the serious stuff.
But we have to keep it corporate.
so you keep it up. We must use the office lingos. Speaking about office lingos, why not let's warm up by saying like we play a game of category. We say office lingos. Okay, and the first one to run out losers lah.
So what defines as an office lingo?
Like, okay, I'll give you one example. Like, as per my email.
As per my last email.
Okay. You ready? You start first.
Okay, as per my last email.
To whom it may concern.
Wow, not bad. Shit. Wait, how long do I have?
It's over already. It's over already.
I lose out.
You
Okay, 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
Wait, you cannot wait. Can we set up a meeting at 11 o'clock? Okay. Is that an office lingo?
I mean, it's a boring
Set
lingo.
up a meeting lah.
Set up a meeting.
Okay.
As per my last phone call.
Fuck you lah. Okay. Let me run up my bosses. Like, let me go.
Okay. Just a follow up from my email.
Okay. Enough as per. Okay. You say as per my last meeting. Last time you are.
Okay. Circling back.
Okay, circling back.
Not bad.
Oh shit. We got best regards.
Okay. This one is usually we got say one. So it's just to manage your expectations.
That's good.
Yeah, another way of saying best regards. A signing off.
Just what you say?
Just to manage your expectations.
Just to manage your expectation. Fuck, I run out already. Of all people, I will run out because I never actually work in an office job before.
Yeah, we also never.
So I guess I lost.
Guess then that means whoever lose today will hold solo lah.
That one. So for the first story, come on.
And this episode is brought to you by none other than
Revolut.
So it's coming to the end of the year, December. Yes. Everybody is booking their leaves and everything, right? And I myself have also applied leave because I am going overseas and traveling the world.
So Revolut is not just for spending and paying in over 150 countries anymore.
Wow.
Because they have a new feature, the digital eSIM. And with this eSIM, you can access data in over 100 countries. Perfect for staying connected overseas. Basically, all you need now to travel is your passport and Revolut.
And not only that, with the Revolut app, you do not have to visit your local money changer anymore because this app can hold and exchange 30 over currencies. Like the Korean won, like the Japanese yen, not forgetting the Thai baht. And if you happen to visit ulu places that only accept cash, do not worry because you can find an ATM using the Revolut app and withdraw cash from the ATM without any charges from Revolut.
And if you click the link below, you get $20 when you sign up.
Have a safe trip
and have a happy holiday.
Okay, so for the first story, this is written by a 32-year-old female and her name is Wish I Am My Own Boss.
Wow.
Okay, so she said, been working office jobs for the last 12 years and the most annoying and uncompassionate bosses I've encountered thus far are, sorry to say but it's the truth, all females aged 40 plus and single whom I always refer them as the 老处女.
Old virgin.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry, cannot lie. Sorry.
They are seriously the worst bosses ever. They always say to staff if sick, should take MC to rest and not work. But when you take MC, they judge you. During appraisal, they say things like, I notice you fall sick very easily, or oh, I noticed you have taken quite a number of MC this year. Like, come on lah, it's still within my entitlement and while on MC, I still can log in and work ma. Technically, it doesn't affect my work quality. And one more thing they like to do is judging you when you need to take leave, especially urgent leave, to care for your sick children. They themselves no commitment, so they can work 24 hours 7 days a week for all they want, but they cannot be compassionate and think about people who have family and stuff to attend to. And lastly, my question for Ryan is, who is a boss himself, how do you feel when your staff takes MC or urgent leave etc. Do you think you are an annoying boss in your staff eyes? Nigel and Ben, please share your views on Ryan as your boss. Ha ha ha.
Wow. How truthful can we get?
Yeah. I don't know. Sia.
I don't know. Like, maybe Ryan might close down the company.
Next one is the HR.
Okay, let's tackle this one by one. Have you all ever worked with a female boss that is like so-called defined as 老处女?
老处女
Yeah.
maybe don't have lah. Because my current boss used to be with the, you know.
But that's your first job, eh?
Actually, no. Proper job as a full-timer, yes. It was my first one back at NOC. Before that, I do work with female bosses before, but I don't really think that it applies to me lah. I used to intern at this place called NYC, National Youth Council. And my bosses there are great.
Right.
They are super nice. There's a female boss and there's a male boss.
But you know why they are nicer? Because it's non-profit. You're not struggling for profit. You get what I mean? You get what I mean?
Okay,
if you are non-profit, then you're not struggling for
But
profit.
still, they need to meet KPIs and stuff.
right.
They do chase for deadlines, but they are very, very understanding.
Yeah.
Till this day, like, I remember after CB was lifted, right? Then or they even like host like meetups, so that we can see each other. Kind of thing. Very nice,
Then why you never go there and work?
Because I got an opportunity to work with you. No, but it's really the truth. After I left, they wished me well. Like, because NOC at the point in time was a reputable company. Like, wow, you're very good. You got yourself a new job. Pretty sure you can do well, blah blah blah, etc. Like, well, maybe you can be influencer one day. That kind of.
Here you are.
Not bad.
It was very heartwarming. Like, I didn't felt like toxicity at that point.
How about you, sir?
For me, it seems from your story that it's a very corporate kind of job that they have been working. And yes, I have my fair share of experience this kind of thing, but I don't think I have worked directly with female bosses before.
Right.
Mine mainly is male supervisors, but I understand from your point of view this kind of lao处女 is what again?
Overgin.
Okay.
It's a bit much.
It's a bit much.
It's a bit much.
But these kind of people, I think you know why they treat you like that. I think it's because to them you're just a number. That's what I learned when I was interning.
That
back.
sounds very familiar to me.
Yeah. You must understand from their point of view, they also need things to be done. And then
They also got their own KPI.
yeah, they got their own KPI at that time. So you have other priorities, they also have other priorities. Yeah.
Like, you got work with female also.
I got work with boomer bosses, but not really female bosses.
Right.
But I work with bosses that act like a bit like this.
Okay.
This is more of like a boomer kind of mindset.
But they're male lah.
Yeah, but they're male versions.
For me, my bosses change every day because my clients are my bosses.
Oh, that's true.
I always find it challenging when I'm speaking to the older female clients. Yeah, because they are usually, how would I say, like they're a little bit.
Little bit.
They're a little bit.
Okay, I understand.
They're little bit.
They are a little bit clueless, and then they are very stuck on their own ways. Yeah, but
Traditional.
yeah. But because it's client, at least they got a same level of respect. They don't talk down to me lah. But it's just that a bit low-so lah sometimes. They will just keep asking. But I don't have particularly bad experience with it lah, so to speak. Okay, what are your views on taking MC?
I never take MC before.
Actually, yeah. Hey, wow, I just realized that.
Really?
Yeah, I think he really never take MC. He just take off lah.
I think taking MC is very normal leh.
I also think it's normal lah.
Because like,
Human ma.
yeah, people will get
Sure
sick
get
of
sick
ma.
one.
If I'm a boss lah, I will be like, that's fine lah. It doesn't affect my work. It doesn't affect my KPI. Then it's up to you lah. I also understand right that from a boss point of view that it's sometimes annoying if you don't give quality work. It will look like you're talking.
Correct.
Right?
Like army like
Hey, don't say that lah. Later everybody think I'm talking.
He commando how to talking.
Who say commando cannot? How commando also human what?
Commando got a lot of Pikachu ones.
So you got talking lah.
Confirm.
You know what is Pikachu? or not?
What's Pikachu?
Buy car, buy shoe.
Okay, Pikachu. Okay.
It's Pikachu.
To be very frank, if I'm a boss, right, I see this guy like, oh, you're always lazy. Always don't deliver the work. Always a lot of excuse. Then the person take MC. Naturally, I will think that you talking.
The impression bad already
Yeah, then you don't give your work on time, or then you still go take MC. You look like talking lah. Like, be it whether real or not, you're still hired to do work ma. It doesn't mean what you come here you're entitled to MC, yes. But you come here to take MC, man. No, you say you take MC normal lah. But you come here like, oh, this day I don't feel like okay, I take MC because I'm entitled. Then it's a different mindset.
That's true.
For me, right, I feel like regarding MC, right, I am cursed. Wait, let me explain first. So
Nobody stop you like what you.
no. In case you all think I talking. Right. Every time I go for a new job, like be it internship or maybe part-time, right? On the very first day of work, I always fall sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I curse or something. I don't know whether it's only to me, but
Sure
maybe...
have or not?
Huh? Have.
also.
So the first day I came as an intern here, right, I had fever the night before. I don't know why.
But you draw your way here.
I draw my way
Because
here.
it will look very bad.
You look
lah.
very bad, yeah. I think it's just me. I don't know if other people out there got experienced this before.
Is it because you're too stressed?
I
You
don't
keep
know.
thinking about it.
I don't know.
I think there's a psychological reason for this. It's like, you know, when you're morning, sometimes you want to go school. You never go school. Like.
I got go. Only 10 years, but I got go.
When you wake up in the morning, you're like, wow, sick, I today don't go school. But actually, you're not sick. It's like 你的心理作用.
But I have to say, right, if you really MC on the first day, right, I will really go back. Wow, your friend first day MC,
Yeah, right.
really looks
It
bad.
looks
Really
very
looks
bad,
bad. Really
right?
looks
Yeah,
bad.
but I don't know why. It's
Yeah.
just, but really, I think taking MC, like what Ben said, it really depends on the impression that you have with your boss. Especially like, imagine if I take MC on the first day, right? The impression, zibaboom.
On the topic of MC, right, I take my NS experience because I got colleagues, right? Then we report to our server, right?
Right.
The policy of our MC is right. You take MC just to implicate your colleague. Our nature of our job, I see very similar. Like we got shoots. Our crew is always very lean. So what if somebody take MC? It really disrupts them.
Someone need to cover lah.
Yeah. Even how sick I am, I will come for shoot because I know it's very hard to plan. That's for me. I don't want to implicate the rest. So I guess that if you take MC without implicating other people, right, honestly, the boss won't care one. So imagine 10 get fat shoot, you take 8 MC, you confirm you won't like him.
I confirm jump him one.
Right, there is no two people.
Keep it corporate. Don't tell me. Write an email, please.
We'll feedback to the HR.
Feedback to HR.
But can we first circle back?
Yes, correct. The proper channels.
Okay.
No, but I think for this case, right, she's more dulan at the fact that her boss always like say, hey guys, if you're sick, go and take MC. But she's dulan at the part, right, after she take MC, right, it's like, you always fall sick very easily.
It feels to me, okay, maybe it's only to me. It feels like she's just making use of her entitlement. Not really take MC when she's sick. I 1 year got 14-day MC, I just use or finish. I will feel it's a bastard thing to do.
It's like a moral hazard kind of thing.
It can be quite obvious to tell, right, whether the person is just taking the MC, right, for the entitlement or really sick.
I think people confuse between entitlement and privilege.
In a very big corporate setting, right, the boss may not know like, oh, you're actually a hardworking person or whatnot. There are people that take it for granted, take MC for granted, keep taking. Then I think they will just naturally lean towards the side that, hey, you talking or not.
But based on the data, doesn't seem like
That's
you're
why
doing work.
to them you're just a number. So they
it's true.
They take the number, the MC number, then they
this guy
come
takes
to
so
the
much
conclusion.
MC.
Lastly, this one.
How do you feel when your staff take MC?
I have no issue because they don't even approve for me. They got their own supervisor, so their supervisor give one. I'm fortunate enough to have my crew and staff, right, to all be very considerate when they take leave and off. They will communicate with each other. Do I think I'm an annoying boss?
In your staff's eye.
I don't know but I feel like they will see me as out of touch.
What is out of touch?
You are young, so the topics that you are talking about is different from me.
No lah,
you
not that bad lah.
You might feel like I'm very out of touch, 老古董
No lah, you so childish, right? 老古董.
Then
we must share our views.
they say.
Hey, why you passing me money under the table?
Yeah.
So Ryan is like the cream of the cream, la cream the cream.
Say the truth. No money.
In terms of this kind of office, how to say, politics. Don't have it. I don't feel like I scared to take MC. I don't feel like I scared to take leave. Because I think we all have a responsibility in this company.
Are you even scared of me in any way?
No lah, you can't respect you one lah.
Okay, then.
Confirm. I think our industry very different. Because in our industry, we have small company.
Yes.
We work very closely together. Then sometimes Ryan doesn't feel like my boss one. Right? Ryan is more like a friend, colleague.
A friend that pays you.
No choice.
Like, there's nothing that I won't go to Ryan or like I scared to ask Ryan from.
His respect to me is like this. Example, I finish my work, I going back, right? Then he will say, you so early, go back. He said that to me.
He said that to everybody that walks through the door. I think for me, I like to draw the line when it comes to work. Like when we are friends, correct? But when it comes to work, it's work. I think it's very important that we have this kind of line. Ryan is still ultimately our boss. And what he said is still the boss words.
Yeah, it's important. It's a little bit different for us because we are closer.
Yeah, the communication more open.
Yeah, and in a lot of companies, right, it's not like
The dynamics is different.
Yeah, of how we grew up, right?
Yeah.
We don't really fight you and say like, hey, we are entitled to this. We should do this. Right? Then the boss will annoy naturally.
Correct.
Then like the boss also cannot be like so young walao nabe 你是 take leave. Yeah,
Speak corporate.
Speak corporate. Like nabe.
I don't like to see myself as their boss. I like to see like a leader. I show them like which direction to go or what to do or share my opinion. But I'm not resistant to hear their opinions as well.
But I heard like some companies out there, they are progressing already to like our kind of style, like more open communication, give and take. You know, you cannot just take everything, but you never give anything to your employees.
If you're very weak, little bit, then you say like, I'm entitled to this, I'm entitled to this MC. Which boss will be happy with it? Hey, ultimately the boss pay you, ma.
It's true because when I do my hiring, right, I do ask this question. Do you identify yourself as a tofu or warrior? To sum it up to which I am my own boss, right, I will have to say, right, we know that employees don't have it easy, but bosses also don't have it easy. So when you're your own boss, I hope you don't become the 老处女, okay? Yeah, so one day if you become your own boss, maybe you will start to understand when these type of things start happening to you. Yeah, when you take out your own money to hire somebody and the person is perpetually not there, it also hurts. Okay, next up, Coke Zero, 33 mil. Many years ago, I was in sales in this company. My previous boss that headhunted me to the company left and joined a competitor company. Then the new boss joined when I went on leave for 2 weeks Europe trip. I constantly got new updates from my colleagues. One of them is that our notice period changes from 1 month to 2 months. After I came back from my leave, I didn't want to sign the addendum by HR for the change in notice period. So I hand in my resignation. My new boss kept fishes in his office.
What does that got to do with
I have my resignation.
Okay, but maybe the story will come. One day, I go on an MC during my notice period. He told me everyone in the sales department that the number of fish he kept is the number of people in the department. There was a dead fish at the bottom of the fish tank. He told everyone that the fish is me and asked if anyone want to be the next dead fish. He didn't allow anyone to feed his fishes. So the rest of the fishes was eating the dead fish lying at the bottom of the fish tank. When I came back to work, my colleague was asking me to see the boss fish tank with the dead fish skeleton corpse and told me he told everyone when I wasn't around. Kind of creepy, crazy dude, and super glad I didn't stay on. He also kept asking my colleagues to check on me if I joined my previous boss to join a competition company after I left, which I didn't.
Whoa.
Oh, this is a psycho boss, yeah.
Sounds
He's a psycho
really
boss.
crazy person.
That's crazy.
This one, I think he watched too much drama and then he really think bosses are supposed to be like that.
No, but do you realize that? Okay, I'm not saying you are. Don't do that. Like, how do these kind of people get to managerial positions or like bosses?
Because when they are reduced to numbers, maybe their numbers really perform.
Really?
Yeah.
And then they are allowed to do this kind of thing.
They are not
allowed.
They don't know lah. They don't know the
know
ways of life.
And plus they got power already, man. Sometimes people change when they got power.
Correct. I always say money and power don't change a person, but they really show who they really are in the first place. It amplifies lah. If you're a good person with money and power, you'll do good things. If you're bad, then those will shine.
To be very fair, when I was back in the old company, I was okay with the...
Tread lightly.
Yeah, tread very lightly.
Tread very lightly.
Even though I'm quite heavy, but I'll try to tiptoe around it. I guess a lot of people have heard stories about what happened.
No shit. Only the whole Singapore lah, but okay.
But honestly, right, this is how I feel.
Okay.
I honestly didn't feel like she's like psychotic.
Right.
At least not to me.
Right.
So there was a clear line between the company. Like y'all don't really work very closely, so I was in her department, and I worked very closely with her because I was part of this.
Not sure I understand.
You see? And then that's the lawsuit.
She was just a normal, like, not very nice
Straightforward
boss.
boss. Straightforward boss.
Like there was once she just told me like, "Hey, how you take one? I just take so long." That kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's normal. Like to me, it's normal because I grew up thinking like bosses they are like that one. 被骂是 okay 咯，老板骂你 okay 咯。So I didn't feel like it was horrible, and I didn't feel like she was psychotic.
You just think normal lah.
Just a normal, like not very nice boss. But then right, this one right is key siao already.
This one is psychotic. This one for me is a red flag. I straight away I leave it.
Yeah, the
I
fact
won't
that
feel comfortable like that.
yeah, the fact that like 他用一个鱼的命来做一个 analogy.
Yeah. I think it's also reasonable that when they update your like the notice period, right? You're not comfortable, you don't sign. I think it's your right lah. Everything you do here sounds like what a reasonable person would do, but anything your boss does not sound like a reasonable human being. But happy that you got out of that shit. I will avoid this company. If you can DM me what company is this, I'm really scared to work with this person.
I rather work with the 老处女 than this kind of
Yes,
psycho thing.
yeah. Now that you say, now the last one, it looks good. Yeah. Okay, next one. This one is young. 19F.
Okay lah, I read off. Wow, 他的 name 有点 difference. Juicy Potats.
19 female. 19F. Okay.
Actually said most year 3 poly students will get a long 6 months internship. And to highlight, we are all mostly 19 female with one 21 years old female. But that's beside the point. So there's this Chikope uncle.
Chikope uncle, okay.
That our Gen Z male colleague told us to avoid because he was so obviously in love with Xiao Mei Mei.
I also like.
This is the real hook.
Okay, wait.
This is the real hook.
Hello?
Wait, go on.
警察，把他，好了，这个啊。He was so obviously in love with Xiao Mei Mei, and wow, in his favor, the 2 smallest girl in our intern batch has to sit near him.
Right.
Man, the perverted hand placement was one thing, but he started playing Elite's Magnetic.
What's that?
Nah.
Okay.
You butchered
You don't need to show your thing, but you continue.
You may not have infringed the copyright, but we may get sued.
And most of the members are like teens, the members of the girl band lah.
Yeah.
So he really loved to sweet talk the ladies and act like a loving uncle. But man, he sure is biased. Hands on shoulders, face so close to ours. What an ick. Mind you, we were mostly 19 female, yeah?
Yeah.
So like after intern, almost done, he was like getting close to us girlies and told us to come back and visit more often with hard eyes. Ew. Anyways, yeah, we had to tahan intern with this weird man, and when our Gen Z male colleagues left one by one, Chikope uncle was more and more weird. I was so glad we ended intern, not gonna lie. Tough times, for real. Hey, really Gen Z,
Really Gen Z.
Okay, like, what are your views of like older men in the office preying on young girls like us?
This is a very tough question to explore.
We don't have this experience because all of us are almost the same age.
Yeah.
The most uncle one is really him.
It's me.
And he's not like an uncle, you know?
But this is a very big issue lah. I think she's not the only one that face this kind of thing. Because last time I got hear friends, they also face this kind of harassment. And it's very different from guys and girls. For guys, right, like we rarely face this kind of thing.
Actually,
Yeah, even if I do this, he won't feel harassed. Okay, so in this office, right, we got about 20 staff, right? I think more than half is female. So far, I never heard of anything lah. Yeah, but I think, of course, as the boss, we have to really watch ourselves. Because I can do that to him. I can't do that to, like our.
Who told you cannot?
I mean, okay.
I wanted to say that.
Who tell you I can do that? Who say?
Okay. But you see, wait. You see, as a guy, right, I treat you all like friends. So sometimes we will be like more touchy, but with girls, of course, I have to be a little bit more careful. But yet, I don't want to look like I'm not friendly with them. But I won't like go quick.
I really say nobody say can do this.
I don't think even the uncle go and flick.
So obviously, I think as the boss, you have to watch yourself lah. Be very, very careful lah.
But then the thing is, 这个 uncle 他不是 boss.
Yeah.
他是 just 一个 uncle.
Colleague
like
lah.
one of a colleague.
Okay, maybe. Okay, then another thing is also, right, if you are feeling uncomfortable, right, you say it once, it will scare him off already. Honestly, honestly, people, right, were like, okay, this one cannot go take advantage of her.
No, but however, I do understand that, like, for example, let's say I'm a female. Then you start touching me.
Right.
Then I'm uncomfortable. I cannot tell you one.
Complain HR lah.
Trauma.
Because you are the boss.
Right.
Then like if I say things about you, right, you don't like me, I GG.
Right. Okay, because I will self-reflect. Like sometimes, right, I joke too far, right, I will text him, hey, you okay? You sure? Recently, one of our intern has been part of a lot of jokes. I also got to tell him, hey, you cannot tahan, you tell me. He's right behind the camera. I said, bro, you cannot tahan. I said that to him yesterday. Hey, you can take it, right? You cannot. You tell me.
You cannot pass it.
I will check in on them lah. Okay, so at least I will have a limitation lah. So,
Okay, true, that's true. However, that's you, right? And a lot of times out there, right, it's more corporate setting.
Right.
But on corporate setting, they don't really work very closely in terms of like, we don't talk like that, man. But That's why they will find it a little bit more difficult to go to the uncle and say like, uncle, 你这样动我不对。Then like the uncle will like, 哇 ，OK 咯，哇，你这样年轻，你顶嘴我扒你一巴。
No lah, but
Okay, 没有扒你啦。
honestly, if I'm the girl, I will still do that. If this is bothering me so much,
Yeah, true,
and
true.
if so many girls are being victim here, right, you should gather and say one time good one, right? Then it won't. He really will be too high say.
This kind of uncle, I know you work where already.
Right.
The common work engineering company.
Oh, usually is
You know why I got this stigma? Because I was from engineering. Then I also go intern. Then the company I go inside, all the calendar is all the big boobs. You know this calendar? This calendar got everybody stay on the calendar like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I think maybe like Ryan's right lah. Like sometimes maybe the person also don't know how the actions brings what consequences. I also understand that it's very hard for you to voice out, but you are there to work, but you don't have to maintain a good relationship with anybody. If at the end of the day, you voice out and then the uncle got biasness towards you, and it start to affect work, like you getting treated unfairly, then it's time to leave lah.
There's also a level of biasness against the uncle. You know why or not? If the uncle is a K-pop idol that is very fucking handsome, he do that, you all mind? Honest, because you know why or not? You know why or not? I know that this that I got this female friend, right? She work in an office setting, international company. She also always talk about the Chikope uncle. But one time I was in the office lah, just to find her and all that, right? I saw one angmo, handsome one, freaking handsome. Wow, hug her, kiss her one. Straight away, she turned back. I say he's a very nice guy. I was like, wait, the Chikope uncle never even hug you or kiss you. Just put your face near you, you already disturbed. But this handsome guy, you say he's a very nice guy. Yeah, so I feel like sometimes it's really like that also.
Sometimes.
Yeah, if the guy very good looking, they will see it very, very differently already. I guess it's still not right. It's still not right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that there's an excuse, but it's still not right. But gather together, embarrassing once, feedback, and then he will stop.
This one is school internship. Can tell your lecturer also.
Yeah, tell your lecturer. Yeah,
I think that's the
as a matter of fact, you should tell your lecturer.
Okay, so next question is by Fel, F-E-L. I used to work at this private hospital as a Saikang warrior on my second day. I got placed to take care of 10 patients. I didn't have access to the system because I didn't have an account. So I wasn't able to enter information like how much they ate, did they pass urine or motion, etc. So I had to rely on the other Saikang warriors that we shall call K to help me log in and update the chart. One of my patients was bedbound who needed 2 people to change diaper. So at around 7-ish, I called K to help me change diaper. K agreed, told me to wait and she'll help me after she finished with her patients. Of course, I was alright, so I decided to finish doing all my other stuff before I went to find her again. The shift ended at 9 PM, so at 8:45 PM, I went to find K. Turns out she left the ward to go home already. So I had to single-handedly change the patient, endured the scolding of the family member, my manager, and sprained my back from it. Fuck you, K.
Wow, that's a bit extreme. I understand your rage, but maybe K really had something emergency to go back. I don't know. I think you at least should talk it out.
You know which doctor they should go to? The Dr. Beat.
Doctor what?
The Dr. Beat! Emergency!
I'm so out of touch already.
I know what you're talking about, I just don't entertain. No lah, but I think K still has a kind of like a colleague colleague obligation and responsibility to tell Fel like, hey, sorry, I really need to leave. I just now promised you to help you, but like, you know, I really need to go. That is the bare minimum she should have done.
But what if it's really life-threatening? 家里着火 kind of
Send a
situation.
text or
Yeah, I guess lah.
你家里着火，你是要搭 cat 吗？搭
Yeah,
cat
that's why. The moment
take
take out phone, right, you just Fel, sorry, later I explain to you. Can already.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So I have no excuse for K.
Yeah,
Fuck you, K. Maybe K. I think it's like that. Maybe she don't like this particular patient that have to change diaper. So she zao.
Maybe she know like the family sure scold her.
Yeah, she cao king. I also think the family member, why go scold you for what? I mean, it's already a very tough thing to do. Scold you is also.
No, but I understand the family lah. Like
concern, yes, I understand.
Imagine your daughter kena rabak, the diaper got shit, or like you confirm scold the nurse one. You'll be like, oh my god, I know your job is difficult, but then my daughter has shit in her pants.
No. That should be the way. That's how you should treat people, not scold people.
I won't scold it.
Yeah, I think that's the very minimum
Even
you should treat people.
Don't say I don't have a daughter, but I got my dog. What. So even if a situation like that, I also won't go scold.
Like it's like
I know they are doing their best kind already.
Basic respect.
No, I think right from their point of view is you are not doing your best. You are slacking. That's why my daughter kena. So I scold you.
But I think the main problem is like, is it cause understaffed?
One person take care of 10 patients.
Yes,
eh.
yeah, that's
That's really a lot. Second day of her work, she probably not even trained.
What is Scooby?
She not even trained. She probably not even trained to change diapers.
Yeah, but the thing is, the main problem wasn't about how many staff there are, how many patients she have to take care. Is that the K agreed to help already. When like
Should have agreed lah. You don't want to
if you cannot, then don't agree lah. You agree, right? For me, if I take it like, oh, you do, I will trust lah. I'll trust that you do. Hey, at the end of the day, you never do that. I need to clear the cycle. Okay? This K is really kanina chibai. It's the same as the MC thing. Like you take MC, if you make other people do more shit, then you are a bastard lah. And then this one, right, is she didn't help. She asked, you agreed. You agree already, then you should help ma.
Yeah. Hey, but actually, where's the manager in all this?
I don't know.
Oh, but the manager also scold her. Then at the last line, my manager.
Because I think the manager, like, I really won't fault them because they don't know the full story. Let's say, for example, you task Nigel to do something, then Nigel pass to me, then they'll do. Then deadline pass.
I was scold him.
You can't scold him up, Yeah.
Right.
But I'm just gonna say like this kind of situation, right? It's a good experience for you because right, what it teaches you, right, is that whenever you give someone your task that you cannot handle, right, don't fully let go your responsibility on it. You still have some part to play. Means like I pass you my work, doesn't mean okay, hands off. She says she settled for me already, then I just go. You still have a part to play, like to maybe even remind her at 8 o'clock or what. Say like, hey, just now remember you tell me, are you still going to do it? Then maybe this situation could have avoided all along.
Correct. Because the baseline is you ask someone for a favor.
Yeah. So I think actually like, whenever you like ask your colleagues for a favor, like then they agree to help you, don't fully let go all your responsibility of that task. Like still go and follow up, do check up, have your own sense of responsibility on your work.
I think little bit of blame is on you. Because at the end of the day, it's your own work. You couldn't finish, you can tell the higher ups like, hey, this is too much work for me, all that kind of thing. You ask someone for a favor, the person didn't deliver, yes, that person busted. But at the same time, you cannot fully blame the person.
And it's your second day of work lah. I'm very sure your supervisor will have understand if you cannot do certain things.
One staff to 10 patients is a bit much.
That's crazy, man. Okay, moving on to the next story by A27 Mail. You waiting for me to read?
You already started. Of course.
I keep moving.
You hit me. I must listen to my boss.
Wait.
Okay. So A, 27 males.
I already said that.
A few years ago, I was backstabbed by a senior I respected when I first joined the company.
Okay.
He had nearly 20 years of experience, while I was new to the industry with just under 2 years in my first job. I worked hard, stayed late, attended meetings even when on leave, and handled the work of 9 people. Constantly under pressure to meet deadlines. I was already uncomfortable with the work environment when things took a turn. During a drinking session, he exploded at me, claiming he did all the work and I'll contribute to nothing. At that time, I had just lost 2 grandparents, recovered from an illness that caused me to lose 10 kg, and was already mentally drained. He took all the credit and blamed me for every issue the team faced, using harsh words that crushed me. We ended up shouting at each other, and it took others to pull us apart. That night, I hit rock bottom mentally and physically, and it affected my family too, as I was ignoring their calls. It wasn't until I opened up to a friend who advised me to seek professional help. It took 6 months to rebuild 30% of my confidence and 9 months to leave the team. While I'm in a better place now, I'll never forget the emotional toll that moment left on me for the rest of my career.
Wow, this one is a
God
very...
damn.
I feel toxicity in a company is really one that can really just destroy the entire environment or joy of working.
Yes, yeah.
I make it very clear even when I hire people. A hint of it, right, I will let the person go already. I think toxicity is the biggest red flag. Your abilities and skills is not up to par, you can learn. But if you are a toxic person in nature, right, that cannot be changed. You did the right thing. I wish that you left earlier. Kudos to you that you are now on the route of recovery. But please, work is just work. Don't need to go handle the work of 9 people and then OT every day.
You just lost your 2 grandparents. I read that some people will have at least empathy, Like, wow.
I'm glad that you're recovering, and I would say during that period, you were really mentally very strong already.
Yeah, actually
Honestly,
very mentally strong.
You push through honestly.
I also think that like there are some people that they brainwash themselves to thinking they do a lot of work.
They think they contributing a lot lah.
Yeah, then maybe just for the benefit of the doubt, right? Maybe in that perspective of the senior, that's why the senior exploded at you.
But also maybe, right, the senior maybe is working as hard as you or even harder than you, and he feels like he's doing everything.
You find that you shout at him, what if, right, he was taking on the work of 18 people?
Yeah. What if his wife and daughter just passed away?
Yeah. And
you don't know.
He had an illness that caused him to lose 20 kg.
Yeah, maybe it's worse, right?
Everything times 2, Maybe from his point of view, he did 90% of the work and he did 10. That's why he'll blame you for not contributing anything.
At the end of the day, you are out of the company. This is a good lesson to learn. You can identify red flags earlier and then next time make a better decision when you find a job. If you see the first sign of this type of red flag, leave.
I think he's glad that you seek professional help. And
I was just talking to, we were just talking about it last week. We explore it to maybe get therapy.
Yeah, like even though like, I don't think I have a issue,
right?
I would just want to go and then just find out more about myself.
You see me in my office.
I think he see you, you get worse. You get worse. Okay, next story. I read this since it's so long. I read it.
So shocked that this guy want to take.
Okay, next story. 3 in 1, 42 mil. 42 mil.
Wow, so old.
Okay. I was the APAC region sale and marketing manager covering 3 persons job. Despite my plea to the management that I needed resources in order for me to be efficient in my role, I was denied these resources repeatedly. When it was finally time for me to tender my resignation, I was blamed for letting the team down and betraying the management's trust in me. I was also blamed for leaving the task of finding 3 persons to fill my role to the management. Moreover, the salary adjustment was mediocre and the management response to our disbelief was, guys, don't believe what the government say about inflation. Inflation is fake. Be glad that the company still hires you so that you have a job. Otherwise, the company can choose Thailand as the region HQ and you will be left jobless.
Wow, this
is insane.
This one, I tell you, don't even have the other side one. This one I just totally disagree.
Straight up, this is a red flag company.
This is straight up.
Fucking red flag.
I know this company do one. They sell gas one.
Why?
They gaslight.
Confirm.
Masters.
When you say gas, I really thought, what Thailand gas company is it?
First, inflation is not fake, bro.
Yeah. Well, I really can't even speak on the management behalf.
so cannot.
They just straight up bastard.
Yeah, and it's crazy because nobody will ask me to go and find someone to replace the company. This company is not mine. I'm just a salary man. I don't think it's right for the company to say, hey, you leave, you go find someone to replace. You think what? It's not a secondary school camp. This is the only company you can join. If you not here, you jobless. I fuck you.
But I think he worried because he is 42 years old. Maybe hard to transit to a new job. Maybe.
I just find that this company is being too self-centered and they only care about the company's well-being and then nothing good for the employees. By gaslighting, say inflation is fake, you need to find your own replacement. If you leave this company, you will be jobless forever.
Okay, the task of finding 3 persons shouldn't be your duty. I agree with that. But on the flip side, I have to say this also. I have known some bosses, right? They actually don't even like to hire Singaporeans. Honestly, because they got a choice of hiring better people with a lower pay for overseas. If it's not for the restriction Singapore have on us, right, that we have to fulfill a quota, right, then we will have just hire everybody else.
I mean, it makes sense lah.
Yeah, because it's true. Because in other country people, right, when they come and work here, right, they are really very focused on work. They are trying to make a living to give their family back home there a better living. So they are very appreciative. They work very hard. If you are like, oh, I want this, I want that, I don't want this, I don't want that. And I get it. Nobody will write their story and write them as the bad guy. I understand this. But sometimes self-reflection, if you can be easily replaced, then you have to reflect. Because the fact that you tender your resignation, they never try to keep you. That could be a hint also. Because if someone of my core member want to leave, I will really try to find out and if I can help them solve the problem all that. I want to keep the person because the person is valuable. Leaving a company without being guilty, I think is your route, is your journey.
Yeah, don't care lah. You also gonna leave already.
Yeah, you're going to leave already. Yeah, don't have to care. I also left my previous company. I started for 10 years.
You care about that feeling for
Yeah, because if you're not happy and then you work in the company, you can't produce. Okay, next one.
This person called Sony, 20 years old female.
Yeah.
And she said, I've been at my company for about 2 years and I have this colleague, A, who's like a human CCTV. She's older, super kepo and loud. Her laughter sounds like a loud hailer.
Wow, how does that sound? Is that how she laughed?
No.
Like, you said, tell me a joke.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
One time, I moved my laptop to another area to work because the office was quiet. And I told my colleagues B and C where I was. A was in the meeting, but halfway through, she came out and checked on B about my whereabouts. When she saw I wasn't at my desk, she told my supervisor I hadn't notified anyone. But I had. I confronted B, who swore A didn't even ask him, and C witnessed it too. We all wondered why A was trying to stir things up by lying. Later, she told B, don't pull this kind of stuff like her. And we all just rolled our eyes. Another time, near the end of the day, I went to the toilet and washed my cup. A saw I wasn't at my desk and texted my supervisor saying X is not at her
Wow,
desk.
you got A to X already. Okay.
Not sure where she went, but iPad is still here. My supervisor sent me a screenshot of the message and I rolled my eyes both in text and real life. My bag was still there, but she chose to look at my iPad to determine if I was in the office. So later that week, I wrote on my iPad, toilet break, bag still here, just to show her to mind her own business.
Wow, I like the pegos, yeah.
Yes,
This is a micromanaging problem.
See lah.
Hey, I like this kind of people, yeah.
You like
Yeah, I like.
You like the micromanager?
No,
you
I
like
like
the
the-
Taylor, do the song. Passive aggressiveness.
Yeah, I like her passive aggressiveness.
Right. Okay, honestly, Pego, I also think is a type of toxicity. You know.
Yeah, but it's very funny.
Yeah, but it's funny lah.
But she never harm anybody.
Yeah, she never harm lah.
I still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's annoying to work with such people lah. But what you do is what I will do also lah. Honestly speaking. Yeah. So micromanaging. Have you all ever worked with anybody that micromanage? I know I don't lah. Don't look at me lah. I don't lah. I know I don't lah.
How about we define what is like the bare minimum for micromanaging? What you think when your manager doing something, right? Then you think like what?
Having to know where I am at every single minute of the day. Yeah.
So like every hour
Down
you
to the minute and what I'm working on or what, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
That I think is a micromanaging.
Okay.
I think maybe because at our line of work, we were given the flexibility
Yes,
to,
yes.
you know, just submit our work, that kind of thing. We are given deadlines, of course.
Yes.
But you, like, I give you a deadline, I tell you, like, oh, next week they submit. Then every day I tell you, I ask you, what's your progress?
Yeah,
what's your
yeah.
progress? Like you don't trust that I will finish.
Yeah, you have to trust. As an employer, you also have to trust with the people that you work and you hire lah.
I don't see that how being so kepo, right, for A, right, is justifiable.
Right.
Even though it's like,
I can though. I can justify. You know why?
why?
She says she worked in this company for 2 years and she's 20F. She could be an intern. Don't know her way around. What lah? I don't know lah.
Not very long, eh.
Yeah, but
I
she's
only-
young. She's young. Very young.
No, but the things that she asks is like don't make sense for her. Like she go toilet wash cup.
Yeah.
That's like what 5 minutes. In that 5 minutes, right, you really like gotta stir shit. Really.
Serve her back her own medicine. You go micromanage her. Every time she leaves her desk, right, you go text your supervisor.
But
Do the same.
But honestly, I think the supervisor know the pattern.
Yeah lah,
already,
also
Even text her personally, say like, hey, the A complain you again. Then she like roll her eyes.
screenshot
Yeah, screenshot. I think everybody in the company know the A is like this kind of pattern.
I don't have colleagues like that. I don't have stuff like that. But I got neighbors like that.
Huh?
Yeah, I got neighbors like always walk past my house there.
Do you think it's rude when people walk? Let's say, usually at HDB flat, people open door. Then when people walk past, do you think it's rude when people look into your house?
I won't lah. I personally won't. I think it's rude. Yeah. Unless suddenly no.
This
Okay,
guy always
but
look into people's house.
Nigel, to be fair, right? Let's say if I walk past Ben's house and I hear the loud Halo sound make, I will look.
什么东西死掉了？
But I won't go like stop in front of the door and go like. 你在做什么？ If I walk past your room, I will look inside.
Right,
Oh, wow,
right.
Like you walk past us, you will just be, you know.
Usually I'm very focused on the because every time I leave, right, suddenly hey Ryan, I need to shoot an IGS. I need to shoot IGS. Ryan, okay. So I beeline to it. I just go over. You know, every time I go, right, I will do it as quietly. I will say bye to crew. I normally don't say bye to producer. So every time the producer will say, hey, I need to shoot IGS. I won't.
So we all know he's talking.
Oh, this guy's so
Sometimes I really tired. You ask one day shoot how many times you are. Talking.
Now we know why he walks so fast.
That's why I got 2 entries. No, but you block I think. I must walk past the producer.
Your own boss talking, eh? I hear before.
So where were we?
I will still think that the senior is a little bit too kepo lah.
Will you confront?
No lah, but I'll do something like what you do.
Fair go,
Yeah, fair go. I think end of the day, let's say your work is fine, everything is nice. Then just don't care lor.
I think ever since I started to work, right, I think the main thing that I find out, right, is that you have to work with all sorts of people. You must learn how to work with all sorts of people.
Correct.
You think I like all my clients, man? I do. Like, moving on to the next question.
Yes.
This one.
So long, right?
Okay, I read. The next question is by Ta. Working in a leading food service company, manufacturing, catering, food courts, etc. We discovered that a married department managing director, M, is engaged in an affair with his direct subordinate. Wow, so spicy. A sales and marketing assistant manager, which is the female, F, joined mid last year and her presence has significantly disrupted the department. M, who is in his 50s, is married with 2 children. While F, aged 28, has a long-term boyfriend. It appears that this affair has been ongoing for about a year and with both partners unaware.
This is the question I want. This is what I'm here for.
Every workday, M picks F up from her home and they consistently arrive at work together late between 9 to 10 a.m. Despite the standard start time of 8:30 a.m. It is a typical act. F will come up to office first and within minutes, M will appear. They often justify their lateness and early departures, typically around 2 to 3 p.m. by citing meetings, yet these supposed meetings have not resulted in any notable improvements in their sales or successful deals. Meanwhile, F's contributions are also lacking as she provides no marketing updates, which is part of her job. Adding to this, M
routinely prepares iced honey water for F in a distinct leopard print tumbler as a personal favor. We hope bringing awareness to this issue will prompt some necessary action. We don't mind if you can post this on TikTok to bring much needed attention to the... No, we are not the type of deal. Wait, this is a managing director leh. 这个是
Is it big one?
but high position.
Wow.
MD is bigger than CEO leh.
Really?
Yeah, there's somebody to 管 the CEO one. Yeah. Okay, if it's not higher than CEO, it's just maybe one level below the...
Wow, so high.
Yeah, it's very high, very high.
This
Yeah.
guy also quite so high.
Yeah. He's quite so high.
Let's break it down slowly. I want to enjoy this story.
We want savor it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I want it to leave a taste in my mouth.
Okay. Wait, my first question is, how sure are you all that he really got an affair? Apart from the patterns that they have been exhibiting, it could still be a suspicion. It could be an allegation. It might not be.
just be a rumor.
Yeah, it may be a rumor.
But I think some people don't understand that, right? It's very obvious from a third party viewer.
Right.
They don't know, you know. Yeah, they don't know. And I think like the things that come up to office first, then within minutes M will appear. Hey, they do it for 1 year already. But this one tasty because this is an affair. You go her house, pick up partner how to?
Yes, yeah. How to pick up?
It's possible to pick her up because her boyfriend may not be living with her.
Oh, yeah, that's
but
true.
not the other way around. I know some of my female friends. They typically might get attracted to if their superior, right, is like successful, rich, happy, right, they actually might get attracted on it. It takes 2 hands to clap. I'm not saying any of them is any better,
Yeah,
but
definitely
it just takes
clapping
2 hands to
something,
clap.
Yeah, they are clapping.
Yeah, in the bedroom lor.
Clapping different parts of the... Is it that you're unhappy because there's different treatment?
Yeah. But it's something juicy lah.
It's juicy lah. If I'm working in this company, this will be my source of entertainment. I every day will want to come work and see any small action that I can. And you won't
No, but they even noticed the one where the M make ice honey water for her.
Yeah, that's fun eh.
But it's fun what?
Yeah.
But of course, on a serious note, of course, their spouse, their kids, all that obviously won't be too pleased lah. It's unfortunate.
What won't be too pleased? They'll be angry.
I think one day, right, if you decide to leave the company, right, tell the wife.
But why you want to bring it up to TikTok and all that?
No, but because like it's unfair, she get special treatment there.
Yeah. I don't feel it's special. You know why not?
Why?
She has to sleep with a 50-year-old man. In order to go home early, I sleep with a 50-year-old man. It's okay I go back late I okay
But the thing is, maybe like to the female, maybe the female is not disadvantaged, you know.
Right.
因为她真的要那个 affair 不是 because of this special treatments. It's also wrong relationship wise.
Morally wrong.
Yeah, everything is wrong about it, right? But they still get to enjoy, you know. Yeah, maybe 她看不下去。
I think one thing is also the impression. Can you imagine your managing director do this kind of thing? The impression of the leadership change.
Yeah.
Then you like maybe lose a lot of respect perfect. Then next time he asks you do things, you'll be like, yeah, 这个睡 with 那个女的 then you like 那个用那个楼下 tick.
I will different hate to think.
Use that different hate.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. I sadly cannot say.
Then if this is really bothering you, if you really truly have evidence, maybe you really honestly can bring it to a HR or.
I think don't even need to bring to HR. If it's me, right? Let's say Ryan got affair.
Okay, yeah.
Let's say Ryan got affair with
I'll give you $500 every day to say good things about me. Can. After that.
Can.
Then okay lah.
Then
Problem
use
solved.
it like that, no? Once it's getting out of hand, it affects you directly. Then maybe I don't think I'll go to the HR lah. I'll probably like confront Ryan directly.
Alright.
I know you all might say like, because we're a bit closer. But I think like even if we're not very close, then maybe I'll voice out if it's really affecting me.
lah.
But a bit hard lah, cause like managing director, like I think quite high one.
Frankly speaking, I got one really golden piece of advice.
Wow!
Golden piece of advice.
Yeah, listening.
If I'm this staff, okay, I always live by this theory that I have repeated many times. 多说多错，少说少错，没错没错。Keep it out of your thing. It's not none of your business. Because if you get yourself involved in this mix, right, can a lot of complication.
Correct.
If you succeed in powtowing him, he get fired and all that, right? He become revengeful, he come and kind of wreck your life, right? You won't like it. If you are not successful, now you are target board. So
Just act blur lah.
you just have blur lah. Just
Enjoy the show lah.
yeah, enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show lah.
But that's me. I'll catch them in the act. That will be juicy. Know how to hear.
Like they go meeting, right?
stalk them.
Then you go with them.
Yeah, you go stalk
You go
them.
take, you just leave.
Or you keep saying, hey, I volunteer to come and help you. Right? Just keep being the third party. You see what they do. It will be even funnier.
You keep to them.
Okay, so with that, we have come to the end of the episode. This episode
I
like.
enjoyed this episode.
This episode I like.
love it.
Yeah. But I hope that the next time we do this episode, we don't have to dress something like that.
Yeah.
It's been quite stuffy.
Yeah,
I can't really move much. Yeah.
And the chair is a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, your flower is wilting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were thinking to do one episode outside, right?
Yes.
Where we want to talk to our audience, okay? We are still hoping that you can leave some comments whether you are interested in this particular episode.
This is the
Yeah.
third time we are
Asking. But I also understand because this is the third time we're doing, right? But the previous two times, right, the video haven't come out. So they still don't know.
Yeah, so
It's like we haven't get any response.
Yeah,
it could be right. Before this video release, we actually do it. But just in case.
Just in case there's no response, please leave some
As
comments.
per our last email.
Circling back.
Circling back.
Yeah, so let us know whether you are interested. The premise of it is like we go to a public place, say maybe like an orchard road or a park. We set up a table. We will have people walking in and telling us their stories, their complaints, and then we will share it.
We will definitely share the location if you want to come down
Yeah,
and
yes.
join us for chit chat. But I think it'll be more fun, right, if we can interact with you.
Then maybe
We can hear it from you.
Yeah.
And also, if you're scared that your identity might be compromised,
We can
always mosaic. We will change your voice.
Yeah.
Leave the editing to us.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just want to hear your voice.
Yes. And lastly, if you want to work with us, here is our email. We will put your stuff here. We will talk about it. Do support us. If not, very soon we might not be able to do this anymore.
Very soon, right? This office will have no drama.
No drama. Okay, so with that, remember to follow all our socials. Click here for more. Click on what and cut to the bloopers.
Okay, 放工了。
放工了. I'm the only one that wear properly today. I just want to tell you guys because look at what this guy is wearing. Look at what that guy is wearing.
Finally.
Wow.
Isn't this not the proper office attire?
I feel like stupid idiot only wear the only one wear a proper one.